thought I would live to see a day in America when wrong is right and right become wrong.
That's because you had no morals to begin with, Jesse. But you know what? If you were talking about Trump, I would agree with you, but you don't. And that's the main problem I have with you, man, is that you're so right-wing and repubish that you don't bring any facts. You know, you just say things. And what's so funny is that you're a hypocrite as well, because you're going by feelings. And I believe you've said on your show, or maybe it was some other repute, but I'm pretty sure it was you, men are not supposed to go with their emotions. Isn't that one of your little pep talks? How men should be men and should react with no feelings? Yeah, you're full of shit, because you're basically going by feelings. You're not going by facts, because the facts is Joe Biden won this election fair and square. And the fact that you can't admit to that shows me that you are not a man, that you are a beta, and you're the worst part of it all.
Now wrong is leading the way in America. It's amazing. You can literally, it's so bad that you can literally steal an election and get away with it.
Like I said, Joe Biden did not steal an election. That was something that was made up by your great white hope, President Trump. Such a sore loser that he can't even admit to losing. Can't even concede. Anybody who tries to run for an election, if they lose, they become a man and not a beta and concede. But Trump did not do that.
And because wrong is now presented as right, and right is presented as wrong.
Again, you have no morals.
And so when you stand up and do right, you can be punished now in America. But if you should do wrong, you can get away with it.
No, wrong. Very wrong. And if you get caught doing something bad, you could be punished. That's how it works in America.
No crime, no punishment. In America, a Judeo-Christian nation, I never thought I would be able to see. It just didn't occur to me.
It didn't occur to you. You complain and complain all the time about how America is corrupt and blah 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 blah. And now that the Republicans are not winning, you wanna scream out, "Oh, they stole the election." Okay, that's wrong. You're wrong.
I've been here for a while, and I never thought that being wrong would be considered as a right. Looking at all these people who have been elected in the government in this country, some of the worst perverted people you ever want to see is now running in the government.
Most perverted people you want to see? What are you talking about? You talking about Joe Biden and how he has some kind of like rumors that are going around? Well, you know what? There's a lot of rumors about a lot of politicians. You're just going by gossip, and I believe you hate women, so you say that women gossip and that men shouldn't be doing those type of things. Well, you're doing it right now. You're just spreading gossip, false information with no evidence. You're a beta. You're a beta.
The Christian country has voted them into government. Radical wrong people too, not just wrong people who know they're wrong but don't quite know how to overcome it, but radical people who are pushing immorality as moral, right, wrong as a right. And it's all because they have managed to demoralize the people.
Well, that's your opinion, and what are they demoralizing exactly? You proclaim yourself to be a preacher, but do you even follow what is said in your religion? I mean, I think you are very repubious and right-wing, and yes, most people are not going to go by that. Being a repube is a very niche percentage. Even when it comes to Republicans and repubes are two different things. A repeat is someone who's right wing or far right wing to a point where they're extreme in their conservative ideals. That exactly what Jesse Lee Peterson is.
Demoralize the people. It's mind-blowing to see it, folks. They have managed to demoralize, and you can only control someone or a people if you demoralize them first. Look what happened to the blacks. And not all.
He's going to go on about how black people are demoralized and how black people are bad and how they ruined the election, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm just going to skip all that.
Most blacks are so out of control, it's ridiculous now. It's just gone. States where blacks were in control of the voting booths and counting ballots and things like that. Detroit, Philadelphia, Georgia, and I don't know about Nevada.
So, okay, right here he was saying how black people are controlling the voting booths of the places where Trump was supposed to win, at least according to him. He was supposed to win but didn't, and he's blaming the black people for it because they controlled the voting places there. As you can see, he's wrong because Nevada, it's not a very high African-American community. I would give it to him about Georgia. I'd never been to Philly, so I wouldn't know. Michigan, Detroit, I don't know. I'd never been in those areas. So I don't know how exactly true that he is, but I do know that black people are about 15 to 25% of the American community. So how they rigged the whole election area by themselves is ridiculous. And there's already been investigation and audits and all that type of stuff. And it has come out that there was no cheating.
But, and I noticed that the people are afraid to call it what it is, stealing the election. In those black-controlled states, for the most part. And the reason is because the blacks stole. They helped to steal the election. And the whites are afraid to say, well, the...
Okay, you're just going to continue to crap on black people. Let's skip.
Black people, if they do it, because I don't have all the proof yet, but I'm
You have no proof. Let's go back.
afraid to say it because they don't want to be called racist. They don't want to be threatened by the blacks who are doing this. The blacks stole. They helped to steal the election.
Wrong.
And the whites are afraid to say, well, the black people were doing this. And they were blocking off windows and they were doing this. Because if they do, and this is representatives and everyone, not just the regular white folks. But they're afraid to say it because they don't want to be called racist. They don't want to be threatened by the blacks. They are afraid. And I don't have all the proof yet, but I can almost guarantee you.
He has no proof. He can't guarantee you anything. This guy is a conspiracy nut. This is what he does. He's a nutbag. And you shouldn't believe anything he says. He lies about most things. How do I know he's lying? Because he says things that he cannot prove. And if you can't prove something, that makes you a liar. Or it makes you ignorant. Whichever. I don't really care. But I think he knows what he's doing. I think he very well knows that he's making up these stories to blame black people. Because he's what we like to call a person who likes to start racism of his own people. He says he wants to help black people, but everywhere he gets, he wants to blame them for anything. Right now, he's blaming people for an election, for rigging an election. He's blaming black people. That's what he's doing right now. And he's trying to make white people the scapegoat because he likes white people. He hates black people. He hates his own people. He is a racist. He's his own racist, which I think is hilarious. And I think he does this because he himself wants to make money off of it. Because he's making good money. Look at him. Look at all that nice stuff he has. Anyways, don't believe anything. This guy has no proof.
Remember, there was a time in America when we respected law enforcement, not out of fear.
Oh yeah, it was out of fear back in his day. He's gonna talk about how he used to live in the Jim Crow laws. That's when black people were segregated, and I believe he's in Alabama. Anyways, black people were segregated, and yeah, no, I would say most black people feared cops because I'm pretty sure cops were white. I should research that. I wonder if everything was segregated, even the police department. I wonder if the black people had their own policing their own neighborhoods. I don't think so. I think white people, as they controlled the bus system, they probably controlled the police department. There were probably nothing but white people. But I will research that and get back to you on it.
But out an appreciation for what they did to protect the innocent, the good folks in the communities. But now, if good people stand up for cops in the black community, and not just the black community, they are attacked.
He's continuing to talk down on black people. I don't want to hear it. This guy is, man, he hates his own skin, I swear.
There are examples around that blacks are suffering due to the lack of family, lack of moral character.
Yeah, I will agree that black people are suffering. But I don't know if it has to do with family or is it the fact that they are living in poverty? At least most of them are living in poverty. You know what? Put up a clip of the data of how many black people are living in poverty right now.
A belief in God. But no one's doing anything about the family. They are training young people, encouraging them to have sex out of wedlock, to live together before marriage. It's okay to stay in your parents' home now and have sex. And the parents are welcoming in it, especially the mothers.
See, he wants to blame women all the time. I think the reason why they're doing that, it's not because they're demoralizing themselves. I think it's because most people live in poverty right now. It's really hard to get a good paying job and be out on your own. Have you seen the housing and renting market? It's high. So I guess that's the reason why most people have to share a house or a family dwelling just to make it. So I guess that's why these parents are allowing their adult children to come live with them and to have girlfriends or whatever, or boyfriends, or whoever's living with who.
What do you think going to happen when you demoralize a people?
Again, these are all your opinions. Nobody's demoralizing anybody if they come live together in a house. As you know, most Latinos, we're big families, and we have aunts and tias, and we have big families that live together, and we live just fine. I mean, I would love for most of us not to live in poverty, and I'm pretty sure the black people are the same way. I guess they're living together because most of us, most Latinos, are in poverty, and we have to do what we have to do in order to survive. I wish we had more money. I do. I wish. Maybe we'll buy houses, but right now, the market is not there. Not in America, at least.
You lose the country.
You're worried about the country, but you're not worried about the human race. You lose the human race when things are demoralized. But you wouldn't know anything about that because you had no morals to begin with.
To see men and women, especially millennials, because they've been so corrupt, brainwashed and dumbed down.
This guy doesn't have a degree. He's not educated at all. He's just going based on what he sees with his own eyes. I can see from his eyes, they're kind of glassy. That means he drinks a lot of alcohol.
Smoking pot.
He admits to doing pot when he was young. And he doesn't do it anymore. But everything that he's saying, he's being a hypocrite on.
Morality is okay. It's not, folks. And I understand your parents didn't protect you. They were not good examples at home. You were brainwashed by the schools.
If that is all true, then you just admitted that it wasn't the millennials, but the people before. Where were they? Generation X? They are to blame. And you're not a Generation X, I don't believe. I think you are more in the silent generation, and you raised these Gen Xers to not be parents. So we're just going by what you're putting out there. I don't think so. I think you have bad opinions about things, and you're uneducated, and you have no idea what you're talking about.
And so last week, biblical question was, when and why did men start moving into?
Let's skip all this. Yeah, just go ahead and skip it all. Here, let's move it.
Or even having sex in their homes. If we did, believe me, the parents didn't know anything about it.
He admits to getting a girl pregnant at a very young age. I forget what age, but he got her pregnant, and then he moved to California to get a job. And if I'm wrong about this, come down to the comments of the YouTube section, see if I got your story wrong. But from what you have said in your talk show, you said that you were at a very young age, you got a girl pregnant, you went to California, and she ended up marrying someone else. And you got all butthurt, like a beta, you got all hurt, and she didn't allow you to raise your kid. Anyways, this guy's a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. I'm not saying that you shouldn't listen to him because he's a hypocrite, but everything he's going to get after you on, he's done it himself. And he's going to say how millennials, me, how we're dumb and corrupted for doing things that he's done his own self.
But now the parents, and a lot of these parents are Christians. Oh, yeah, you don't have to be married. Move on in. Mama love you. I'd rather for you to have sex in the home than in a car.
Yeah, he wants to blame the women. He has a thing about women, man. I think it's because his baby mama left him for another man. He's hurt by it. He hasn't got over it because he's a beta. He's a beta. He needs to get over it.
What the? How do you expect your children to turn out when you set a bad example for them, especially as a Christian? Man,
this guy loves to judge other people. I think that's why I think that's one of the reasons why he does this. I think he likes to sit behind a mic, just like me. He likes to judge people. He likes to, just a lot of criticism behind him about things that he doesn't know anything about.
See the children of the lie doing that because they have no insight, no light, no morals, no values.
You have no insight, no morals, no values. You've proven it time and time again.
But I cannot. I know why the Christian parents are doing it, but it's amazing to me that they would do that. I would never let my son or my granddaughter.
He said son. Like I said, he didn't raise his kid, apparently. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this. From what I've seen from him, he's admitted that the girl that he got pregnant with, she married another man, and he didn't get to raise his son. This, again, if I'm wrong, please go down to the YouTube comments, and I will make an update video saying how wrong I am about his life. Because that's one thing I don't want to do. I don't want to make assumptions on the man's life. But this is just what I'm going by from what I heard from his mouth on his talk show or whatever he calls his show, the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show. Anyways, he has the Fallen State and some other shows. Anyways. He said in the past in his videos that he never got to raise his kids. So again, he's a hypocrite. He never raised his kid, and I'm not gonna say it's his fault. He admitted that the woman did not let him raise the kid, and I don't want to judge him for that because I kind of understand how things like that, dealing with your baby mama and all that. But yeah, all he's saying right there is hypocrisy.
And the parents will suffer too because when you demoralize your kids like that, they become a problem for you for the rest of your life. You suffer. You have to take care of them. Brand new biblical question. And God is not for that, by the way. Brand new biblical question.
He says God's not for that. How would he know? he doesn't even like reading the Bible. Did you know about that, Jesse? Jesse doesn't like reading your Bible. He wants you to listen to him because he wants to brainwash you. At least that's what I think. I think he wants to brainwash you into believing his bullshit. Because he has things that are not in the Bible. Jesus never said them. He's basically just a rogue preacher. Actually, I wouldn't even call him a rogue preacher. I'd call him a cult leader. Because, again, he's not really going by the Christian faith. He's going by his own things. And where I come from, that's a cult leader. And I'm just throwing it out there. I think this man is more of a cult leader than a real preacher. That's just my opinion on him.
Brand new biblical question. Who is the Christian's worst enemy?
A Christian's worst enemy is you, because you do not follow the doctrine very well. And look, I myself is not a Christian. I used to be. You know, my family grew up Christian, and I had to wait till I got older to walk away from it. So I know by experience and by all of that. But one of the main reasons why I left Christianity is because people like him. All they like to do is judge. They like to be hypocrites. They like to do things that they say they don't do, but they do anyways. Like, you know, I don't know if he drinks, but he looks like he's an alcoholic by the eyes. I'm just judging him on the way he looks, because, you know, we all do it. We all judge, including me, including you, including Jesse Lee Peterson. But that's one thing a priest does. He judges about all the bad stuff you do, but he doesn't look towards himself. And I think the number one thing that a person needs to do before he goes out there and preaches, he should look towards himself and then to others. So, who is Christianity's worst enemy? Well, it's themselves. And, yeah. Anyways, I'm done with this video. Actually, I really didn't like this video. But hey, you know, I'll put it out there. What did we learn today, kids? We learned that Jesse Lee Peterson doesn't know right from wrong. He has no morals. That's what I got from it. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.